In 2021, federal prosecutors in Missouri announced something that stunned the community. An 81-year-old grandmother from Kirkwood was accused of helping international criminals launder money. But this isn't just a story of crime. It's a story of loneliness, love, betrayal, and how anyone, at any age, can be pulled into the dark web of online scams. Her name was Glenda Seim. She lived a quiet life in Kirkwood, Missouri. Retired, friendly, part of her community. But in 2014, searching for companionship, Glenda logged online. That's when she met him, the man who would change everything. He claimed to be a U.S. citizen working in Nigeria. He told her stories of business ventures and dreams of a shared future. But before long came the requests, small sums for fees, penalties, or taxes. Always just one more step. What Glenda didn't realize was that she had stepped into one of the internet's most ruthless fraud schemes, the romance scam. These scams prey on trust and loneliness, weaving tales of devotion while draining bank accounts. But Glenda's story didn't stop at losing her savings. It went further. She began receiving money from other people, victims across the country. Her lover asked her to forward the funds. She thought she was helping him. In truth, she was helping launder money. She had unknowingly become a money mule. At first, Glenda believed she was helping the man she loved. He spoke of shipments stuck at ports, of urgent fees blocking his return. She wanted to be supportive. She wanted to believe. Every time he asked, she said yes. But soon the request shifted. He asked if she could hold money for him. Money from supposed business partners. Cash flowed into her account. She forwarded it overseas, thinking she was helping. That was the turning point. The moment Glenda crossed from being a victim to becoming an accomplice. In legal terms, Glenda was now part of a money mule network. Each transfer tightened the rope. Each wire linked her to crimes she didn't fully understand. And yet, in her mind, she was still helping the man she loved. That's the tragedy of this case. She never saw herself as a criminal. Not until the FBI knocked on her door. By 2021, the investigation had unraveled the truth. Bank records showed transactions that stretched across states and even continents. Emails traced back to foreign IP addresses. Testimonies from other victims confirmed the same pattern. And at the center of it all was Glenda. For neighbors in Kirkwood, it was unthinkable. How could the sweet, elderly woman they waved to on morning walks now be standing accused of federal crimes? But for investigators, the evidence spoke louder than her intentions. On November 2nd, 2021, Glenda Seim walked into a federal courtroom. The woman who once sent love letters across oceans now stood under fluorescent lights, facing a judge, facing the law, facing the truth. She pleaded guilty to 2 counts of identity theft. Her voice was quiet, shaken, but clear. In that moment, her private heartbreak had become a matter of public record. To her, she had been helping someone she loved. To prosecutors, she had enabled criminals. To the law, she was guilty. The truth sat somewhere in the shadows between those versions. But it no longer mattered because justice had spoken. For Glenda, the sentence was more than legal punishment. It was the shattering of a dream, the collapse of a love that never existed, and the realization that she had been both victim and perpetrator in one of the cruelest cons of our time. Glenda's story may sound extraordinary, but it isn't rare. In fact, it's part of something much bigger. A global scam industry worth billions of dollars. Run like a business, perfected over decades. The FBI reported that in 2021 alone, Americans lost over $1 billion to romance scams. Behind those numbers are thousands of victims, teachers, veterans, single parents, and yes, even grandmothers, each one drawn in by the same false promises. But romance scams are only part of the machine. To move money across borders, criminals need intermediaries, ordinary people willing to pass along funds. Some do it knowingly for a cut. But many, like Glenda, are tricked into becoming money mules. And once the money starts flowing, stopping it isn't easy. Each transfer blurs the trail, hiding the criminals further in the shadows. The damage isn't just financial. Families are torn apart. Children discover their parents have lost their life savings. Friends watch loved ones fall into emotional traps they can't escape. Victims often feel not just broke, but humiliated, ashamed, alone. And that's why Glenda's case matters. Because it reveals a painful truth. The front lines of international crime are not just in dark alleys or shadowy offices. Sometimes, they run right through ordinary homes, through people we love, people we trust. So was Glenda Seim a criminal? Or was she simply another victim? The truth lies somewhere in between. But what her case reveals is chilling. Scams don't stop at stealing money. They steal trust, dignity, even innocence. And they can turn anyone, yes, even a grandmother, into an unwitting criminal. Her story is a warning to protect your loved ones, to question sudden online relationships, and to remember, not every message of love is real. But here's the good news. Scams can be stopped before they even begin. At Tileris, we use artificial intelligence to detect scam patterns, spot fake accounts, and block fraud before it reaches you or your family. Because prevention isn't just possible, it's powerful. If you want to protect yourself and the people you love, visit Tileris.com. And if this story opened your eyes, share it. Someone you know could be at risk right now. For more true stories about scams, crime, and the digital underworld, subscribe. Because the next victim could be closer than you think.